everyone. My name is Effy, and I'm glad to have this opportunity to be here tonight to share some of the learnings with you. Just waiting for my slides first. Okay. Yeah, so in today's session, I'd like to go through three parts, starting from the introduction to the digital advertising landscape in China right now, and then moving on to our answers to the three questions that we get from almost every brand we work with, and then end with some campaign examples to show the hottest trends in digital marketing right now. So first of all, I just wanted to share some of the current trends in China's digital advertising scene now. And as we can see in the yellow part of this chart, so the digital ad market in China has been growing and is estimated to keep growing quite steadily. And to look at the growth rate, there's a tiny dip this year due to the coronavirus, but it is expected to grow back up over the next 2 years. And within digital ads, mobile ads are definitely killing it. They're taking up almost 90% of the total market, while PC ads is actually decreasing year by year. And what's worth noticing here as well is the OTT ads, which stands for over-the-top ads, and it is the ads we see on our smart TVs and connected TVs delivered through the video streaming services. So this is a rather new type of ads, but it's been growing really fast, and it'll be interesting to see how it develops over the next years. So among all types of digital ads, which one do you think would be the most popular types right now? And it's definitely the e-commerce ads in China. So e-commerce ads is taking up about 40% of the whole market, and it's still estimated to continue its growth over the next years. So here the e-commerce ads refer to those ads we see on apps like Tmall, Taobao, or Xiaohongshu, like JD, and where people promote their products listed on those e-commerce platforms. And then moving on to the blue part, the search ads, we can see that it's shrinking, and it's very different from what we see in the Western market, where the search advertising is definitely the largest section among all online ads, and it's still growing every year. But here in China, the search ad market is really decreasing, and this is very much showing the trend where we are searching more and more on individual apps targeting at very specific needs, but not just search everything on Baidu. And then moving a little below onto the online video ads, we might all know that short video is getting really, really popular these years, and that has a huge impact on ad industry as well, as short video ads is getting more and more popular, and it's almost leveling up with social ads, while other type of online video ads are just gradually decreasing. So the last point in this part, I'd like to show you a bit of how conversion ads and awareness ads has developed over the last year. So in online ads, there are usually two goals. One is to showcase the brand and to build brand awareness, and the other is to drive conversions, whether that's to increase the number of sales, number of leads, or app downloads. For awareness ads, the impact is usually a little hard to measure, because we're able to measure on the delivering side, which is how many ads we have shown to how many people. But it's really hard to measure on the receiving side, which is how many people have actually seen the ad, and also how much of an impression an ad has actually left on the person's mind. But on the contrary, the conversion ad is much easier to be measured on its impact, because every single conversion counts as a solid proof that an ad works. And because of that, we're able to calculate ROI, and we're able to tell whether an ad is working or not. So over the last year, as we can see here, conversion ads is getting really popular, and it's becoming a dominating ad type over awareness ads, both in news apps and also in short video apps, and even on online video platforms. So traditionally, online video platforms are seen as a perfect channel to build brand awareness. because when people are viewing long-form video content, they're less likely to go onto another landing page to make a purchase or to contact salespeople to book a demo. But even on these platforms, conversion ads are getting really, really popular. So this is the data from last year, so you might be wondering what's happening with this trend this year with the impact of COVID-19. And what we've seen is that with added financial pressure onto brands, there is actually an even larger focus on conversion ads this year in the different industries and the companies of different sizes. So moving on to the second part, I'd like to share some of our thoughts around the top 3 questions we get asked most frequently around advertising in China. So the first question is, where can I reach my Chinese audience? And to answer this question, of course, we need to look at your target audience, both their demographic data, like their gender, their age, their education, income, etc., and also their psychographic data, which is their behavior and interests. And for today, I've just put together this overview of some top channels in China and segmented based on their abilities to target either a local or a broad audience and either a mass or niche audience. So, for example, if you're a company making dairy products and targeting people who drink milk every morning, then your audience will most likely to be located across all parts of China, and they're very likely to have a wide range of characteristics. So in this case, you'll be placed in the top right corner of this quadrant. So some good channels to start with would be channels like Baidu, Toutiao, WeChat, Tencent apps, and Douyin. But if you're a company selling components to shipyards and ship owners, then your audience will most likely to be more regional, and they would most likely to have more specific characteristics. Then you'll be placed in the bottom left corner of this quadrant, where it'll be good to start with channels like LinkedIn, Toutiao, Baidu. So that said, in the end, it still all comes down to testing. So the question of where can I reach my audience China will be better to be thought of as where should I start reaching my audience in China? So the second question we often get is, how much should I spend on advertising in China? And to answer this question, we first look at your annual marketing budget for the Chinese market. So based on that budget, and also how well known your brand is in the Chinese market, we would recommend different strategies. And for today, I put together these 2 as a kind of rule of thumb guidance. So for smaller and lesser known brands, we'd recommend to start with search ads, social ads, and social content, just to gauge the interest in market first and to start building up some sales and some audience followers in China, before investing more into KOL, which is influencer, and media buying, and more expensive types of social ads. And for companies of medium to large size with more well-known brands in China, then a good example of budget allocation would be around to spend 30% on social ads and social content, 25% on media buying, 25% on KOL, 10% on search, and the other 10% to experiment with some new channels and new techniques. And a third question we often get is, what strategy should I use when it comes to online advertising? So there are usually 3 strategies we see across all types of companies and industries, and they are the maximizer, the front runner, and the profiteer. So let's look at them. Maybe you also would like to have a think like which one of these you are right now. So the maximizer, they're the ones with a very specific and fixed budget, and they want to make as much as possible out of that budget. And no matter what the ad result really is, they tend to just stick with that budget, at least on a 12-month basis. So this strategy we often see used by more traditional industries like tourism or education industries. Then the front runner, they're more focused on building the brand, so they want to be shown to their target audience, they want to be front and center with their customer, and they're willing to pay premium to be in that spot. So with this strategy, we would spend more budget onto brand awareness campaigns, where we care most about maximizing the ad coverage. but we care slightly less about the ad efficiency and also the return on investment. And this strategy is often used by very large companies with very large ad budgets. And then the third one, the profiteer. This is the one we most frequently recommend to our customers, and also it's the most commonly used strategy. This one is more focused on maximizing the return on investment, and also it usually has a very flexible budget. So for this strategy, it's based on a lot of testing and optimizing, and the campaign can start from very small budget with testing, and then later on move on to become very large campaigns once we find the most profitable combination of like ad channels and target audience, ad creatives, and landing pages. And then in the last part, I would like to show some of the campaign examples that are showing the hottest trends in digital marketing world right now. And I wonder how many of these you are already doing with your companies now. And the trends are live streaming, short videos, and KOLs. So this year, if there's one thing that almost every company is trying to do is, no matter how challenging or bizarre it is the live streaming. And also with the impact of the COVID-19, we see more and more people that we could never imagine before are hopping on the train of live streaming, from bookstores to car sellers, from luxury brands to real estate companies. Just everyone is giving this a try. And for this trend, I picked an example that I think all of our NBA members will be familiar with, that is IKEA. So IKEA has for 77 years only been selling through their own website, their own app, and their own physical stores. But this year, in the middle of the global pandemic, they for the first time joined a third-party platform and opened their official store on Tmall. So in March, they live streamed their online contract signing with Tmall, and both the CEO of IKEA China and the CEO of Tmall attended. So let's take a look at this short clip.
To the most exciting moment, let's connect Anna and Mr. Zhang Fan and announce the official opening of IKEA Tmall store. 让我们一起倒计时，5、4。
So this ceremony was followed by a 2-hour live streaming of their showrooms, and in total 3 hours they had 300,000 viewers, and they also gained 150,000 followers. Now, to put this number in perspective, an average IKEA store gets about 183,000 visitors per month. So this is really a great success for them. And following this first successful live streaming session, they start to do very regular live streamings. And especially from the end of this May, they start to do live streaming every single day for 1 to 2 hours. So every of their session was held by 2 of their employees from a different department, where they showcase their showroom, their design, their products, and even their famous hot dogs. And so throughout this series of live streaming sessions, the IKEA Tmall store gained almost 2 million followers in just over 3 months. So this is a great example showing how they're building an incredibly valuable online community, online asset in the Chinese market. And besides live streaming, KOL is also one of the hottest trend in digital marketing, and it's been there for many years, but it's still staying very popular. And brands tend to work with KOL more than celebrities because they're more affordable, and also they have a group of loyal followers that really listen to what they say and trust what they recommend. And for this trend, I picked an example, which is a good example to show how to use KOL. So Maddox, maybe some of you know, it's a Norwegian brand, Norwegian supplement product made from lingonberries. It has good impact on beauty and health, and it's also one of the clients we work with actually. So for Maddox, we worked with the WeChat KOL, and they produce content around international famous figures and royal families. So for the International Women's Day last year, we did a campaign to publish an article to gossip around the Princess Ingrid Alexander of Norway, and this article was followed by a product recommendation of Maddox, and it was really well received by their readers. So the campaign itself brought in a six-figure in sales and also reached 165% in return on investment. Knowing that the audience of this KOL really clicks with the Maddox product, we continued on to work with them. So for both the Double 11 shopping festival last year and for the International Women's Day this year, we worked with the KOL to experiment with some new type of content and achieved even better results, actually at above 200% in return on investment. And the last trend I'd like to share is the short video trend. And the case I picked here is a Chinese lifestyle brand called Nomi. And it's actually often mistaken as a Nordic brand because they use Swedish designers and their products has quite a Scandinavian touch to them. So they collaborated with an NGO called Non-Violence, and they did a public good campaign to promote the idea of a peaceful life, peaceful world to their young audience. And this is a full-range digital campaign, so they produced a high-fashion campaign video and they rolled out 10 pieces of co-branded products, and they also worked with a group of fashion KOLs to spread their campaign message. But what made this campaign really standing out and eye-catching is that they started a dance competition on Douyin, which further increased their interest among their young audience. So here's a little clip.
This is a remix. On 3, 2, 1.
So a lot of young people follow this example to do their own version of this finger dance and upload it on to Douyin, and this whole campaign reached like over 10 million young people, and also achieved like a record-breaking engagement rate. So this is also a very good example showing how brand can be innovative and following the latest trend to bring really great results. And with that comes to the end of my session. Thank you.
Thank you, Effy. I think I learned a lot of things tonight, and I also feel there's, this is going so fast. Through these few months, Douyin and TikTok has been going global, and it's really difficult to follow. So thank you again for sharing your insights, so we can all learn more about this. Thank you. Just before you go, do we have a couple questions from the audience? Okay.
Hi, Effy, thanks for that. A lot of the trends you show is really great for, say, retail brands or for targeting young people. Do you have any insights in a very digital, very youth-focused market like China? For a brand like us, we are in cruising and our customers are quite old, 55 and above. What insights do you have for us?
That's a very good question, and to really give insight, I need to learn more, of course, about your target audience. And like I said, with that little overview, we can find the channels to target them as well. Even the audience above 65 in China, they're still being very digital compared to Western counterparts. So yeah, I'm sure that we'll find a suitable channel to reach out to them and spread the message. But to be more detailed, I think we'll need to talk more to understand more of your business and